work different on men and women, or young people and old people?
When you mean, does it work different? I'm not really sure what you mean.
When you do your therapy on people that are men or women, or if you do it with young people or old people, is it always the same, or is there a difference in how you do it and the response?
In Tibetan Buddhism, there's never an always.
Okay.
Every individual is unique, but I think more than the sex and the age of the client is their willingness to be a partner. People who come to me and say, "I'm here, now fix me," are not the kind of clients that I will have to retrain those people to take ownership, that they have as much, that we're partners. Those people who, I rarely accept clients who come in, screaming and and dragging their feet. I usually get people who really want to be here. But occasionally someone brings their child in and the child really doesn't want to be here, but the mother really thinks they should. And that's always more difficult until a sense of trust is established.
Uh-huh.
Someone who comes in and really wants and has a sense of trust and has a little bit of knowledge about these instruments and are ready, willing, and open, well, the process goes a lot faster.
Excellent.
And that's really a lot more of an indicator than age or in terms of working differently. I work differently with every single client. What I do with that client is different.
How do you use visualization or the power of intention? How do you use that with the bowls?
Well, I think that it's really important when the cognitive and the cellular meet one another. There's like this explosive aha that happens. One is good, the other is good, but the both together is really, really powerful. So we begin sessions by really establishing an intention that is the exact right thing, that deals with the core issue the person came in with. And I have a process that I go through to help them get to that core issue. And it is a visualization. I'm not going to do it over the phone right now, but I go through a process and a visualization that helps someone to really identify what the core issue is. Then I hold that intention when they're on the mat, and I do when they're in a very, very deep state of, I call it a tasmic state, a deep trance state, or a deep meditative state, then I am really literally, whatever I say, I'm talking directly to the subconscious. So in that way, I have a range of visualizations that I do that help to strengthen that aspect of the person that will address that core issue. Is that clear?
Yeah, excellent. The benefits that you mentioned that it improves learning ability, memory, attention, enhanced creativity, motivation, a process of self-transformation. It's good for overcoming depression and insomnia, a greater sense of well-being and hope, and accelerated healing. So for young people that you want to improve creativity or memory, or for older people or people who have trouble with insomnia or depression, do you use the same techniques for all those different things, or is it different?
As I said before, every individual that comes here, it's just like coaching. You're not going to say the same words. You have a toolbox of things. You have things that are similar. I mean, you start to recognize, depression. There are certain things that are helpful to people who are depressed. There are certain things that are helpful to people who have anxiety. And you would probably not say the same things. And you will, over time, I've been practicing for 10 years, so I see some similarities in different types of conditions. So there are some similar things that I do. But in general, every person is a unique individual. So I will, in the Tibetan bowl, in the work, there is there is a process. There is the use of sacred geometry. There's the use of direction. There's a lot of intricacies involved with each specific session, and I will put together those aspects. For example, if someone is very depressed, they probably don't need that their energy be much more grounded. They're about in the ground as they possibly can get.
Right.
They probably need more of a sense of nourishing, and they also need to have their sense of hope and a sense of uplifting. So I would work in the direction from the ground, from their feet up, to bring their energy up. If someone is coming here and they're very anxious and they're very scared, I would probably, that fear is collected up in the breath is very shallow. It's usually up, very high in their chest. And one of the first things I'll do is I'll start to work with their breath and bring their breath down. So I'll work in that direction, and until the next thing, whatever it is that I'm going to do, that is indicated through looking at them, looking at their breathing, looking at their just their energy in general. So I do definitely have different formulas, different directions, different lots of different things that I use depending on what the condition is. But those were two, I think, very easy to understand examples of how I might use direction, for example, of how I would play the bowls going down or play the bowls going up. That's one small example.
That's good. And so for the direction, and also I guess for the visualization with each person, it would be different depending on what they have, and so you help them to get out of the problem they have and increase their creativity and motivation, etc. So you individualize each treatment protocol.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Good. Do you want to tell us again, for the listeners, how they might get in touch with you if they want to?
Sure. You can go to either of my two websites, www.soundenergyhealing.com or www.tibetanbowlschool.com. That's tibetanbowlschool.com. That's all one word. And one of them is generally about sound healing, and the other one is for people who are really interested in learning or becoming certified practitioners.
What's the difference, Deanne, about the difference between the old and the new Himalayan or Tibetan singing bowls and crystal bowls?
Well, the crystal bowls have nothing to do with the Himalayas.
Okay.
There's nothing Tibetan about them. They are a Western invention. The Himalayan bowls, as you can see, are made out of, I think I mentioned before, of a 7-metal alloy: gold, silver, tin, copper, mercury, lead, and iron. I think I explained in the beginning of the session how they were made in this sacred, consecrated manner,
right.
Blessed and by mantras. And the new bowls are made on lathes in factories for the purposes of commerce.